Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to the internet and welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio. I'm here again. I'm going to do a review of a movie today called If. This one stars Ryan Reynolds, Kaylee Fleming, and John Krasinski's in there too. It's kind of like, the title should be a little bit longer. It's kind of like It from 2017, except it's got an F instead of a T. So I gotta say right out the gate, when I started watching this, it feels like Drop Dead Fred for a new generation. We got imaginary friends, we got kids growing out of them, we got imaginary friends that don't want their kids to grow out of them. It's a whole thing, but it works pretty good here. It's a nice premise, and I mean, I'm pretty old, so you may not have seen that movie, but it's pretty good fun too. So we start off here with Kaylee Fleming. She's our main character, B. She's a little girl. She's living a pretty idyllic life. John Krasinski and his wife are there, and you see a lot of home videos of them smiling and having fun and stuff. But then you notice a lot of them as the time goes on. The mom is in the hospital more and more and seems like she's sick. She was also, Kaylee Fleming was on Walking Dead, so we know she doesn't have the best luck with mothers, and that luck streak continues here. Her mom dies at the beginning of the movie. Well, no, it's not really funny, but it's funny that she seems to have a streak of that. So the mom passes away, and then we go on to the future, and it's just her and her dad's sick, and he's in the hospital. It looks like the same hospital that her mom was in all those years ago. So she's kind of had a tough life, been a little bit sad. Probably had an imaginary friend when she was younger, but for now she's on her own, and she's going in there. Her dad, played by John Krasinski, is great. He's everything you want a father figure to be in a movie. He's loving, supportive. He really cares about his daughter. He's trying to always crack jokes and have a lot of fun, even though it's a really serious, dark situation. I totally get that as a parent. You want to make sure your kids are always having a good time and that they feel safe. So his role's pretty good here. He's not a main character in the movie, but his role is played pretty well by him. I like all the interactions with him and his daughter. He's at the hospital pretty much the entire movie, but you also see him having a lot of fun. He pretends to escape and a few other pranks. You get some great moments with him. And everyone has an imaginary friend too. His was cool. I'll get into that in a minute. But suffice it to say, John Krasinski's imaginary friend was a guy named Kevin, who tripped everybody up and was invisible. There was another one that was kind of like a cloak and dagger guy that always hid everywhere and stole things. So while he's in the hospital, B is staying with her grandmother, played by Fiona Shaw. I only hear her called grandmother. She's fantastic. Her character is hilarious. She cannot cook, really loves her granddaughter though, and her worried about her son. But she comes off as really fun in every situation. She's like an older lady, posh, well-mannered, and other than the fact that she can't cook, I don't know why, not that makes her ill-mannered, but I don't know why she can't cook. She seems to have everything else like a grandmotherly thing. My grandma could always cook. She was a great cook. So while she's staying there, it's in an apartment building, she hears some noise and things upstairs, and one day she goes to check it out, and that, my friend, is when the movie really starts to take off. So B goes upstairs to check out what the noise was, and it's a door. And when she goes in the door in there, that's when the fun begins. We meet our three imaginary friends, the main ones. We got Cal, played by Ryan Reynolds, and he's interesting. He just looks like a normal man for most of the time. You get Blue, played by Steve Carell, my absolute favorite. Blue is hilarious. Blue as a character reminds you of that dog that's just too big and always tries to get in your lap, always knocking things over, sneezing, causing awkward situations to happen just by existing. I loved every minute of him on the screen. And the other one that's up there is a Betty Boop type character in black and white, so probably someone's really old imaginary friend. So she learns that they're all up there because as kids grow up, they forget their imaginary friends. Oh no. So it's kind of like Drop Dead Fred, but in that they took a pill and they disappeared. They don't disappear here. They seem to just exist forever. So as she's up there talking with them, they realize that maybe she can help them. They have this hidden place, so they actually go down to an old discarded fair, let's say, or an amusement park. And when they're there, they go to the merry-go-round. Love merry-go-rounds. And there's a secret door, and there's I would call it like a hotel or a crazy encampment type thing. Not an encampment, it's a building. But they go in there and all the imaginary friends are in there waiting to get reunited with new kids or things like that. And then, of course, Ryan Reynolds Cal, he walks in there with her. You get a lot of nice backstory about all the imaginary friends. This place is a cacophony of characters. You see like marshmallow people on fire. There's a dragon in a castle room at one point. every type of there's an old bear who's wise and giving advice and has been there for a long time since the founding of this place. It's really interesting. And there's a lot of voice actors. There's too many to even imagine listing. If you go check out the cast list, a lot of comedians are here, and there's a lot of really good performances. I like them. Probably my favorite part about the whole movie was the giant cast of imaginary friends. You don't get to see all of them for long periods of time, but a lot of them make a good impression. Blue, like I said, was my favorite. Cal being another one. They even mentioned the old bear says, he used to be a clown a long time ago till his kid forgot about him. And now he's just like a normal guy. Sometimes in the movie, they don't even present that he's an imaginary friend, but it's kind of obvious that he is if you've seen The Sixth Sense. He kind of gets the same treatment as the main character in The Sixth Sense, where he's always there, but no one acknowledges him. Just seems to acknowledge the kid around him. So what's up with that? So through Bee's visits to the hospital and things like that, she's trying to find a home for the imaginary friends. New kids that can see them. So she'll bring them in because she can see the imaginary friends and she doesn't know why everybody else can't. Because she can see all of them, not just her own. So she thinks other kids should have the ability to see them and then they can, become friends and stay there together. But that doesn't quite happen. We have a little grand adventure of her. That's another great part in this. Like I said, the amazing roster of characters she tries to show off to another kid she had met in the hospital, but it doesn't really work. They don't really get a lot of success with that, but they do a lot of that in between her visiting her dad in the hospital, who's obviously not well. And you get a few more, you get a lot of great scenes with the grandma, actually. Still not cooking, ordering pizza, burning things. Great interactions there, but it just shows you she's got a tight-knit family, but they're definitely going through a tough time. So throughout the course of the movie, we get a lot of failures of her trying to get, younger people to see the imaginary friends. So then she decides to take a different tact. When she goes upstairs one time, she realizes, wait a minute, why is Betty Boop here in this place? And they start talking about it, and she realizes that's her grandmother's imaginary friend. That's why she's black and white. She used to be a dancer and used to be really happy and dance around and have a great time with her imaginary friend. But of course she got older, didn't have one anymore. I had an imaginary friend when I was a kid. His name was Johnson. He used to wear a suit. I still talk to him from time to time, just to keep everything totally normal. But so she brings the imaginary friend back down and plays old music. And then the grandma is able to see Betty Boop and she dances around with her and they're both so happy. They actually glow when they get seen by people. Blue tries to get the same happiness out of his old master. His old master is he's called Blue, but I forgot to mention earlier, he's quite purple. He's like a giant purple Grimace or Barney, but funnier than both of them. But he's going around the whole time banging into stuff and causing trouble. But yeah, his original owner was colorblind. So the big purple guy's name is Blue. Again, hilarious. So then she realizes what they should do is instead of trying to connect him with new kids, try to reconnect them with the older people that had them before that maybe forgotten them and could use them again in their life to feel good. It's a nice change. And then we do get brought back to reality around the end of the movie there. There's a really sad moment in the hospital with her father and all the imaginary friends. They come and they line up to support her, and it gets me. It's a pretty sad moment. It's devastating for a dad to have to think that he's going to have to leave his child alone in the world. And when you watch the scene, you think that's what's going to happen. She's really sad. Oh, it really got to me. It was really good. I liked it. They did a great job of exaggerating the moment and making me feel really bad for her. But, it's a great movie to take your kids to, because don't worry, he's okay. Things work out. And when he actually recovers and everything is okay and she's super happy, they all disappear. Poof, where'd they go? Seems like now that her problems are gone and she doesn't need the imaginary friends, she won't see them anymore. And that's when she remembers that Cal the clown was her imaginary friend. She sees an old picture she drew from her childhood, something she ignored this whole movie, and finally looks back on it, and she remembers. And then she goes back up to find him, and we get a great happy ending with all the imaginary friends and stuff. Oh, really good time. I liked it a lot. It was only about an hour and 45 minutes long, so it didn't overstay its welcome. It was a decent comedy. I got some good laughs out of it. Nice one to watch. Just casual movie on a Friday night. Everyone in the scene that I watched with seemed to have a good time. So overall, an easy recommend. I'd recommend that to anyone who's looking for a good time. And if you like Drop Dead Fred, it's not a spiritual success or anything, but if you like that theme of movie, this is kind of right up your alley. But thanks so much for listening this far, guys. Really appreciate that. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.